Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We have the debut of the LMP2 on iRacing on my channel. We're at Mexico City for yet another track guide. Now for the open setup version of this, if you want to race the actual setup being used by Gianni Lutzu here, you can actually go on our Patreon page or to our website, which is being showcased on the bottom right hand side of the screen. There are links to both of those websites in the description. Also, if you want to get coaching from the #1 rated coach on iRacing, you can check out LutzuDriverPerformance.com. He's the guy that took me from 1200 iRating to 5.5k at my peak. I recommend it. Right. So here we are on our very first debut. Well, you can only have one debut, I suppose, of the LMP2, this time at Mexico City. Very excited. Just smashing it along to turn one. We're going to look for this 6 marker on the left hand side, go through that just before the 5. We're going to brake up to about 75%, down to first gear, over to the right hand side, lightly on the brakes, back on the gas in first gear, little lift, still in first gear. Now we're into second, exit nice and wide. The amount of people that message under these videos saying I do exactly the same as Gianni and I'm 2 seconds slower, you're not hitting the brakes as hard initially. Look at that immediately. It's a cliff face, down to first gear, smoothly back on the gas, lightly on the brakes, back on the gas in first gear, leaves it in first, now back on the brakes, picks up on the gas before the second apex, exits nice and wide, heads over to the right hand side, is looking to get his right hand tyres right on that rumble strip, on the brakes only up about 30%, down to second. Oh, this is beautiful. Little lift, lightly on the brakes, over to the left hand side, slightly harder on the brakes, back on the gas in second, totally ignores that corner. It's perfect. Some people also say that was his lap legal? Well, yes, on race labs, you do not get given a time if you've had an X. Back on the gas in second gear, over to the right side just before we get to the line on the brakes, which is about 50%, 55%. Back on the gas in first, mount that curb, really mount this one, up to second, back on the brakes, back on the gas. It's a thing of beauty. And to be fair, this is a very, very fun car to drive. Gianni goes across the line in a 1:36.6. If you want to know my time as something to chase, I managed a 37.2. Right, we will do the breakdown next. Right, for those of you that are still watching because you've stayed for the breakdown, first of all, well done you. This is where I'm going to show you all the braking markers. Right, so for turn 1, we're going to run straight through the 6 marker. I'm going to start braking at the 5. Okay, he's gone through the 5. So, yeah, he starts braking as we get to the 5, but you start seeing it just after. He goes straight up to 75%. And as I say, if you look at the telemetry graph there, this is what we're talking about when I say a cliff face. He finds peak pressure that he's going to use for that braking zone, immediately holds it there, wiping all that speed off. Now, he's not putting anything into his steering just yet. So 100% of the grip available to the tyre is going in a straight line. Actually, this time decelerating. Now he trails it off, down to first gear, starts picking back up on the gas, heads over to the right-hand side to give himself a nice opening into turn 2. Lightly on the brakes, only up to about sort of 5, 6, 7% there. Back on the gas at the apex. Doesn't make it up to full gas, but just does a little lift just to get that rear rotation. Now back on the gas, exits nice and wide, heads over to the right-hand side. This is the first time I've run this livery from the cockpit. I'm rather enjoying these Marlboro signs, which ages me quite nicely. Right, now we're looking at the 2 marker, which I can see through my right-hand triple. This is where we get on the brakes, and again, he holds it around 80%. There's no ABS here, but we're trying not to lock up. Trails it off down to the apex, back on the gas as we get here. Over to the left-hand side, and again, doesn't make it up to 100% before he's back on the brakes, only up to about 15%. Trails that off, back on the gas at the apex. It sounds like I'm repeating myself every corner. It's because this is how people drive. Right, now we are on the brakes, only up to about 55% peak pressure, and he brakes in a straight line, aiming towards the outside of the apex, maybe slightly to the left of it. Trails that off, gets back on the gas midway between the 2 apeces here at turn 6. Back on the gas, nice and patient on throttle. Going to head over to the right side. Now you see this porta potty here. Basically, the braking marker is, 2 heartbeats for a heartbeat after we go through that. And he gets on the brakes, only up to about 33%. I saw there is peak pressure. Going to trail that off down to second gear, getting back on the gas just ahead of the apex as he hits this curving. Gets up to 100%. has no intention of getting back over to the track here. This is allowable under iRacing's track limits, so don't go any further over to the left if you're looking for the fastest times. Back on the gas. Now he just does a lift, lightly on the brakes, 4%. That's not going to slow the car, but it is just ensuring that the weight of the car is over the front wheels. Back on the gas over to the left-hand side. As soon as he gets to this track edge here, or the rumble strip, that's when he's on the brakes. Only up to 20%, down to second gear, back onto 100%, just ahead of the apex. And again, this is another corner where we're wanting to ignore the actual track itself, keeping our right-hand tyres on the rumble strip and our left-hand tyres over to the left-hand side. Now we're going to start braking for turn 12 just as we get to this rumble strip, or the white and red cross hatchings on the left here. As you can see, just as he hits it on the brakes, and again, he finds peak pressure immediately at 75%, wipes that speed off, down to second gear, back onto 100%, nearly, but back onto 83% as he's fully on the apex. Now he gets up to the 100% as the car settles. You can use the sausage curb on the left-hand side to straighten your car out. Over to the right-hand side, and just before we get to the line, or just as we get to the end of this Mexico City sidings in navy and white, over on the right-hand side, he's on the brakes, only up to about 55%. Wipes that speed off, down to first gear, just kisses this curbing on the left-hand side, back on the gas. Now he's wanting to semi-mount this curb on the right here, and then he fully mounts this curb with his wheels on either side of it. So he's only going to have to jump over with the left-hand wheels up to second gear, and as the car settles down here, he's immediately going to get on the brakes up to about 45%, trails that off down to first gear, back on the gas at the apex, and it's a beautiful lap, a beautiful, beautiful lap. I wish I could drive it like this, but I can't, but that's why Gianni does it for us. Right, over across the line in a 36.6, we've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking, which will be a blessed relief for yourself as well as myself. Let's go.